Hey there, internet friends, and welcome to That D Plus Show. Class is in session for the only show from that nerdy site that lets you know what kind of quality to expect right from the name. I'm your host, Trevor Starkey, and each week we dive into a different Disney Plus offering and discuss its history, how it holds up today, and our general impressions. If you like the show, we would love it if you like, subscribe, rate, review, share the podcast with your friends, all that fun stuff. Joining me today, once again, we have Cameron Abbott. How you doing, Cameron?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's going on is we are diving straight into our now 5th year of Halloween-themed content here in October, which means we are hitting the bottom of the barrel in terms of what Disney Plus has to offer that we haven't already done episodes on. But one of the things we're talking about today specifically is The Scariest Story Ever, a Mickey Mouse Halloween Spooktacular. This is an episode of the Mickey Mouse series of animated shorts that ran from 2013 to 2019 on the Disney Channel, I presume, or maybe like Disney XD or one of those things. I don't know. But this was from season 4, episode 9, and this, in doing my little research, while this episode is a 22-minute standalone thing that they kind of pulled out and threw into the like Halloween collection of Disney Plus. All of the other Mickey Mouse shorts in this collection are like 5 to 9 minutes, so it's very much like interstitially kind of things, and this was very much like, we're going to do a special in this art style with this voice cast and that kind of stuff. So yeah, we picked it because we're out of Halloween towns to go through, so needed to, figure something out on that front, and it was like, I enjoy, this is in the art style that you will see if you go on the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway ride at the Disney parks. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of the new art style that they've had going for a few years. And I was like, that'll be a fun one to just kind of jump into that, see, this version of the characters and all that kind of stuff. And it's, 20 minutes, so we can knock it out pretty quickly. Probably won't be a particularly long episode, as the like single episode of TV ones tend to not be. But I do have a few things to flesh things out here. So this was originally aired, I should say, October 8th, 2017. I'll jump ahead real quick to a bit of trivia that I pulled because technically this was originally released September 26th, 2017. It was released on DVD as a standalone thing and on the Disney Channel app prior to its actual TV debut. So it was a interesting, like, oh, that's a weird release thing, but sometimes that's how it be. And because they threw this on DVD, they made a little bit extra cash from it. This would be normally the part of the show where we dive into like the box office, but obviously this doesn't have a box office to speak of. And so it doesn't make sense to also do our game that we've been doing of like, guess the top 10 movies of 2017. We'll save that for when we actually do a 2017 movie or another 2017 movie if we've already done it and I've already kind of blocked it out of my mind. But I did do a little bit of research that I'm going to throw Cam's way, or a little guessing game I'm going to throw Cam's way, because I have looked up the highest rated TV shows according to the Nielsen ratings team. And they did a report that I was able to find that was basically like the top TV programs of 2017. And they had like one-off events and that it was all just like sporting events and stuff like that. I wasn't going to pull that in. So these are they have the top TV programs of 2017 that are like regularly scheduled things. So weekly series for whatever period of time they would run, but then they also had one because this is the era of social impressions and how many tweets and Facebook posts are being made or impressions and stuff like that. So they did also compile a top social programs of 2017 ranked by total interactions per episode. So which of those do you want to dive into? We can do them both, but do you have a preference on which one we want to do first, Cam?
No, let's go with whatever.
Okay. Regularly scheduled programming then. So this is going to be like people actually sitting down, watching the show, getting the Nielsen ratings for whoever has the Nielsen box, kind of I'll say number one, this weekly event had 18.5 million viewers, kind of thing. And then going all the way down to number 10, is 14.4 million. So pretty high, bars in here. I don't know a lot of details on these, so I don't really have like the trivia. Like, here's three bullet points we'll go through and guess. But I can give you like, here's the network it airs on, or I can try and like thumb through. But just kind of first pass, do you have any guesses in terms of like what big TV shows were running here about
2017.
7-8 years ago? Yeah.
First one comes to mind is going to be Modern Family.
Modern Family, I think, was probably already off the air by this point.
Was it? Okay.
It is not listed here.
Good to know. Okay.
Let's see. Modern Family. When did you stop? Oh no, it ran till 2020, but it apparently was not a top 10 performer.
That's fair. Like, it is towards its tail end of it, so that makes sense. I'm gonna go ahead and throw out.
Yeah, it would have been. It debuted in 2009, so that would have been in like seasons 9 or 10 or something like that.
Yeah. I'm gonna give a throw out here and say the Goldbergs.
The Goldbergs, I mean, they're not here. I don't think that is not a show I think of in terms of like ratings juggernaut. I'm good. Like, there's kind of maybe the clue. We're looking at like 14.5 million people watching these things on a weekly basis.
Cool.
So
okay. And you said this is serialized TV?
it is regularly scheduled. So I'll give you that, like, there are.
So I'm gonna make an inquiry here. Survivor.
Survivor is not among the panel, but there is like a 2-phase reality show thing that is in here.
Gotcha. So my initial one after that is gonna be. I'm gonna throw out The Amazing Race.
No. Think it's not American Idol, but think in the American Idol family of shows.
Gosh, The Voice.
Not The Voice, no.
Then I'm gonna say, not X Factor. No, it's America's Got Talent.
America's Got Talent, yes.
There we go. Yeah. Is that number 1 or number 2?
So America's Got Talent is number 9 for Wednesday nights and number 7 for Tuesday nights.
There you go. Okay.
Because that draws eyes. Number 9, America's Got Talent Wednesday nights was 14.6 million, and number 7, America's Got Talent 16.0 million.
Okay.
So yeah, and that is it in terms of like reality shows. There's one other non-serialized show, I will say, non-sitcom or drama kind of thing that is on here. So it is not a reality show. It is not a like sitcom drama weekly TV show in that regard. So
it's neither of those.
What other like weekly things might you find on TV?
Oh,
like if you wanted to watch your Jets play.
Oh, dude. Oh, you're talking about sports on it. Okay, yeah. Well, then, yeah, NFL.
Yep.
NFL Sunday.
NFL Sunday. Yep, exactly. Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football. Yeah.
Number 1. And NBC's Sunday Night Football here.
Gotcha. Okay, sorry. I made a mistake of thinking that we were not doing sports.
Yeah.
So my apologies.
Sorry. So yeah, that was the other list that I didn't pull on here. Was like singular sporting events. So it's like
gotcha.
The Super Bowl. It's Game 6 of the World Series or like NBA Finals.
Gotcha. Yep.
It was a lot of those kinds of
things.
Okay,
so I'd say
I'm not going to just do that.
I'd say after NFL, NBA.
I'm going to say that is the only sporting thing on here.
Oh, really?
So everything else, 2 through 6 and 8 and 10 are all TV shows.
Interesting. First off, shout out to football for being so goddamn dominant.
Yep. I mean, it only beats the number 2 item here by about 55,000. So.
Okay, something almost as popular as football.
Yeah. So I'll roll it back to number 10 in particular because I don't think you're going to get number 10. But this is and I do have like a little bit of stats here. So number 10's item is season 1 and 2, so like the second half of season 1 and the first half of season 2, because it would be January through December's kind of is their rating, or I think January through November is how their actual listing was. But it is a CBS legal drama that stars Michael Weatherly, and this his character is inspired by Dr. Phil. You have any idea what show that might be describing? It is a show I had never heard of until I saw this.
I'm gonna throw
because
this.
I am very out of the loop on CBS procedurals.
The only medical CBS procedural I'm aware of is like The Good Doctor, and I don't think it's that.
Good Doctor is an ABC medical
there you
thing,
go.
and it is number 3.
There you go.
On this list. So good shout.
There you go.
Glad I helped to get you there.
We got there. Good Doctor is
so
number 3.
10, yeah, is technically a legal drama.
Oh, it's a legal drama. Sorry, I thought you
yeah.
said my bad. So yeah, if it's legal, oh gosh, I don't know. The practice is way off the air. Shoot.
Again, I don't think you're gonna know it. It's a show called Bull.
Oh yeah, it is.
You do know it.
I do know it. That's based off Dr. Phil.
Apparently based off Dr. Phil.
Isn't that the dude who like sets up like jury?
He sets up jury. Like he helps lawyers identify
jury
what
selection.
juries should be selected,
Yeah.
and then how to like specifically gear your arguments towards that. And yeah, apparently, according to Wikipedia, it is very loosely based on like Dr. Phil McGraw, kind of his pre-TV show, his pre-Dr. Phil TV host and Oprah style of thing, I think. But yeah.
That's crazy.
Dr.
Okay.
Bull, played by Michael Weatherly, who I always think
NCIS.
of from. I think of him from Dark Angel because that was the first thing I ever saw him in.
Dang, you dug deep on that one.
I mean, well,
okay.
I have the 2 seasons of Dark Angel on DVD because I was a big Jessica Alba fan of that era.
Dark Angel's a solid show.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So number 9, we already talked. America's Got Talent. Number 8. This is the only one on here that is not on like kind of network television. So this is a basic cable series. So what might be out there in terms of like basic cable, very popular shows from almost a decade ago. And I'll say this was seasons 7 and 8 of this particular show.
Okay, so that kills where I was at. I was like, is it gonna be like Law and Order SVU, Monday Night Raw?
Law and Order SVU would technically be a network show, I believe.
Yeah, but it's also on you. This is the thing. They started doing like new episodes on USA back in the day, and I don't know when that happened and when that stopped.
Also, I'm gonna throw out there, like, I think Monday Night Raw is typically like maybe 3 million views, at least these days, and I don't think it was like in a particularly booming period in 2017 that was like suddenly there's 14 million people watching this show weekly.
That's fair. I was not sure. I'm trying to like go through like non-network TV.
Yeah. I'll give you the network if you want it.
Yeah, sure. What's the network?
AMC.
AMC. Oh, 2017. It's not Mad Men. Mad Men was off the air by then, I think.
Yeah, it would have been gone by then.
Yeah. Better Call Saul?
Nope. Again, season 7 and 8. Better Call Saul
7, 8,
didn't even
sorry,
make
yeah.
it to 7
Oh,
and
if it's
8.
2017, is this Breaking Bad?
Breaking Bad
Yeah.
also did not have.
No.
They ended at 5 seasons.
That's
I
right.
believe.
Okay, so something longer than that. Yeah. AMC. Trying to scour my AMC brain. Are you about to like?
I'm gonna give you a clue.
Oh, The Walking Dead.
Yes, The Walking Dead.
There we go, yeah.
The clue for audio listeners, I held up a big old Invincible compendium written by Robert Kirkman of The Walking Dead.
I never dug the show.
So for a couple of these, I was like, okay, Walking Dead, season 7 and 8, I know enough. I never watched the show or anything like that, but I know enough about the zeitgeist of like, that show was on its last legs for seemingly forever. So where were we at in season 7 and 8 time? And this is basically, Negan got introduced at the end of season 7, I believe.
Oh, then there you
like
go.
The
This is
season 7
hot.
finale,
Then.
and so it's like
Yeah.
the start of his kind of time on the show, season 8. So yeah, it was basically like the intro to Negan era, or maybe he was introduced at the end of season 6, and then season 7 was his time. I don't remember, but that's basically what it was. Was like, here's when Negan came on the show, and it was a very polarizing, era of the show, but it was still bringing in 14.7 million viewers.
Yeah.
So we had America's Got Talent
Tuesday
nights. So number 6, we get to the first and second seasons of an NBC series
first and second seasons of an NBC series.
Yeah, basically like the second, the
Yeah,
spring would have been the end of the first season, and then the fall is the debut of the second season, kind of thing.
2017, an NBC series that was like poppin'.
Yep. Apart from Sunday Night Football, this is the highest rated NBC thing on here.
This Is Us.
This Is Us, indeed. Yep.
There we go. This Is Us.
Yep, my bit here, which I have seen like season 1. I don't remember how far into season 2 I got, but this was a show like that had enough buzz that I like watched it on Hulu or something like that. But this split time period drama featuring modern day look at a trio of triplets and the flashbacks to their childhood and parents, played by Mandy Moore and Milo Ventimiglia.
Yep.
And that was one that I was like, I'm very interested in a Mandy Moore show. Absolutely.
For me, I think it was the big mystery of like, we knew the dad died, but we didn't know how.
Yeah.
And the episode where he dies is the episode they debuted after the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And he dies after the Super Bowl.
I mean, don't give spoilers.
Sorry.
But yeah.
Hey, this is like, the show is so good.
Yeah,
it will make you cry though. It will tear up your heart.
First thing I saw Sterling K. Brown in, or first thing I remember seeing Sterling K. Brown in, and I was like, he is fucking amazing. When I would start to see him, like when he pops up in Black Panther, I'm like, hell yeah.
Yep. For me, it was that, and then he did SNL, where he did a sketch where he was a Shrek super fan.
Okay.
And got into a fight with his fiance's parents because they mocked that his favorite movie was Shrek. And he got very aggressive about it, and it's a very solid bit.
He is in one of the all-time great bottle episodes of a show in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes, where he's the dentist.
He's the dentist that's in there being interrogated by Jake and Holt.
Yep. That's an awesome episode.
Fucking great. Yeah. I think he won. If he didn't win, he definitely was nominated for an Emmy for like guest appearance for that show.
Yeah. He is so good. I love him so much.
So number 5, we hit seasons 14 and 15 of a long-running CBS military police procedural.
NCIS?
NCIS, yep. I figured, like, I was like, well, if I throw military police procedural, that's probably going to limit the number of things.
CBS, I got you. I knew NCIS was going to pop up on this list.
Yep.
That show, everybody's dad has been watching that show for fucking forever.
Yeah.
So
the only 2 remaining that you haven't got now are numbers 4 and 2, and fittingly, they are related shows. Also on CBS.
4 and 2 CBS.
Not procedurals, though.
Not procedurals.
Yeah. No, we are in sitcom land.
Oh, okay. And they're related?
Yep.
Ooh. See, my immediately thought goes to like The Good Wife and the Firm. It's like The Firm or something is the follow-up show to it. But you said it's not a procedural, and that those fall into legal procedurals.
Yep. Also, to give you another second to think, because you did call out The Good Doctor already, this was specifically the first half of the first season of The Good Doctor was this time frame of 2017. So like that show hit the ground running. Like I was surprised at how many like early in their run shows were here, because it's so. I'll say that the thing I would have expected on this is like the number 2 of this that is like, or the NCISs that are like in their 14th, 15th season. The number 2 show here is in its 10th and 11th season, and the number 4 show, which again is related to the number 2 show, is basically just the first half of its first season. And again, it hits the ground running here like a shot.
Oh my God, Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon.
Yep, indeed.
There we go.
Yep.
Obviously, yeah.
Yep.
I want to say, Good Doctor, almost like nobody ever, like, the whole point of The Good Doctor is like, young doctor has severe autism, but it's like his superpower.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how frustrated this has made people with autism for many, many years. Sure. I don't have autism. I know people who do. This show is a thorn in their goddamn side.
Oh, just like The Big Bang Theory is a thorn in the side of every nerd who loves
100%.
Pop culture things and is like, that's not us. And it's the quintessential like Big Bang Theory moment I always think of is like when they just list a shit ton of pop culture references over like a ping pong table, and it's somebody screaming at, like, they've recorded the TV playing it, and they just scream at the end, "There wasn't a fucking joke!" But there's like a laugh track just playing through the entire time. It's like, not once did they tell a joke in there. They just made reference after reference after reference and let the laugh track play. It's like,
it's a bad show.
Yeah.
I know that some people, it's like my sister and John, my brother-in-law, it's like their family guilty show.
Yeah, it was like, I've watched most of the show, and it was a guilty pleasure. I have a handful of the seasons on DVD or whatever. It's like, I enjoy it enough, but yeah, it is absolutely the like, oh,
no,
this is not a well written show.
No,
Chuck Lorre just gets by on like the lowest common denominator, and another like autistic savant character in Sheldon, and some like very like racially and anti-Semitic coded things with Howard and Raj.
Not to mention like also homophobic stuff between the two of them, and like the fact, like, also on top of that, there is also the skeezy perv stuff of Howard, and I will never forgive my mother for, she's like, I saw an episode of it, one of the characters reminded you of you, and I'm like, there's no good world where I'm any of these.
Good answer.
There's no good answer. The only thing you could say is Penny, like, and even then that's not great. But, and I'm not going to say who it was because I've never forgiven her for that. I'm like, you think I'm that guy?
I mean, well, given the context clues of like what really set you off, I'm guessing it's Leonard.
It's not Leonard.
Oh, no,
nope.
okay. Or
not
Leonard. Sorry, not Leonard. Howard.
It is Howard.
Yeah.
I'd
well,
be like,
you know
I'm like,
who that makes her though, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, how would you looked at it and you're like, that's a good equation for the two of us? I'm like, first off, I'm not like that pervy with anybody I know. I'm not like that with women. Like, I don't do that. That's half his character. The other half is Jewish. I'm not Jewish. Like, that's not fair to say. I'm not like,
we don't really need to go down the rabbit hole of more Big Bang Theory stuff,
or just like how Jewish am I?
Yeah, indeed.
Like I'm not Jewish enough to have that kind of like cliche codependent relationship with my mother.
Yeah.
Like, me living with my parents is not a good, I'm not enjoying it. It's not great. There's not like, that whole thing is like not a thing that I ever had with my mom. So there you go. There's that also. Yeah. But anyway, Big Bang Theory sucks. I will say, one of my favorite things about Big Bang Theory though, is one time I was talking to somebody I worked with at a call center, and they're like, you don't like the new girl? And I was like, no, the new girl, it's like this hipster adjacent show that is, I forgot like my exact critique about it. I'm like, oh, okay. And like Zoe Deschanel, she's like, she's just so quirky and everything. I've since come around on it. I understand.
Yeah, I was gonna say like this better have a happy ending.
This is initial
one
early
one of the much better shows in recent years.
Here's the thing: that show has a rough start for me. Later seasons and everything, when they really have that going, and it's no longer just like the roommate dynamic. Like, there's layers to their characters now.
Yeah.
That's when it's good. I'd say when Cece becomes like a more regular person and becomes like everybody starts dating each other. That's when it becomes more interesting for me. Yeah. Those first episodes, I just was super turned off by like how turned up the quirkiness was. And yeah, that show I've come around on that show. But when I told him that, he just said, oh, okay, I get it. And he turned around and then turned back around. Like, he was talking to me, like, because our rows were like, I was in it was like a not full bullpen. It was like just staggered rows of desks. Mm-hmm. And so we would turn and talk to each other and then when we got a call, we'd turn back around and do our work. And at one point he turned around to take a call, and before he answered, he turned back around and said, so is the Big Bang Theory just like a mushroom stamp on your face? And I was like, yeah.
That's a way of framing it.
Certainly a way of phrasing it.
Yeah.
Cameron McQueen, if you're out there, I love you.
I was all in early on New Girl, in particular because so the showrunner creator of that show's a woman by the name of Liz Merriweather, or Elizabeth Merriweather. And right before that came out, I had done and worked on a show at Stray Cat Theater called Hedatron, that is a show about robots that kidnap a woman and perform Hedda Gobbler with her, and it was Liz Merriweather had written that. So I was like, so that was happening right at the time she's like breaking and getting this big opportunity with this Zooey Deschanel show, and so I watched that and was like, you know, crushing on Zooey Deschanel, sure, but then also just I enjoyed the chemistry of the cast kind of immediately. It does take a hit in that. Was it Damon Wayans? No, Damon Wayans Jr. maybe. Coach basically like was in the pilot and then had to stay doing Happy Endings or whatever other show he was doing that they expected was going to get canceled, but they picked it up for another season, so he couldn't come and do New Girl. And so they bring in Lamorne Morris, who now Emmy winner, Lamorne Morris. And they just didn't really have like a good grasp on what his character was for a while.
But the beauty of that,
because they had clearly like built the
coach role,
the coach role and the camaraderie around it, and they kind of bring him in, and they're like, okay, you're not going to be playing coach. You are a different character in case we ever want to bring coach back, which they do in later seasons. Which again is another time like that's absolutely like a time when that show kind of like solidifies and does like really shoots. It's definitely. I think the show that, or one of the shows that benefited the most from the pandemic, and everybody being like, "Hey, we can watch this on Netflix," and people love it and had a great time with it. So
that was two of my friends back in my like early 20s. That was their favorite show, and they're like, "We should do a New Girl party," and I was like, "No." And now, as older during the pandemic, I did watch it, and I'm like, it won me over.
Yeah,
like it's a fantastic show. I think, especially one of the things I'll say is one of the best things about it is. The last season, which normally for most shows, the last season's terrible. The last season's fantastic.
Yeah.
They just turned everything on its head in such a unique, interesting way. And it's just like, I don't want to spoil it for people. It's one of the best turns from second to last season that I think has ever been done. And that last season is some of like the highlight moments of that show. I'm like, there's never been a show that builds on itself like that and then nails its ending.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, How I Met Your Mother.
Sure.
Like, yeah, they're great. I think that's a great show.
They did a similar thing with that the Parks and Recs team did with their show. And it was one I had watched a lot of New Girl, but then I did fall off at some point when it was like originally airing, but then I circled back to it and caught like the final season or two that I had missed there in the pandemic. I was like, oh, that was a really fun like approach and stuff. Anyway, I swear eventually we'll circle back to the scariest story ever, but I do have, because I think this will, I think maybe you'll do a little bit better with this, the top social programs of 2017 ranked by total interactions per episode. And this is basically like, how many Facebook interactions does it have and Twitter interactions kind of combined? And we're looking at the number 10 show has like 299,000 impressions compared to the number 1 show that has like 2.5 million impressions.
We're talking 2017,
2017, right? Yeah. So
I'm going to say Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones is your number 1. Yep. Yeah. This was the penultimate season 7 of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, this is also like the height.
A mix of people really enjoying the show and people hate watching the show at this point.
Yep.
Because this is when, mild spoilers for Game of Thrones, but this is when Dany's finally arrives to Westeros. This is when Jon, one of the big episodes, kind of the big penultimate episode of the season that was always like the big spectacle episode. This was the one where Jon leads like a crew north of the wall, and it's like, oh, they're not all making it back, are they? And then in the finale, the truth of Jon Snow's lineage is revealed.
That's for me, that's like the beginning of like all the season 8 nonsense. It happens in that last episode where they're like, and your name is Aegon, and which is weird because your dad already had a son named Aegon, and it seems really either weird that he named 2 kids Aegon, or he is really twisted that he named you after the dead son too.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry. The Targaryens twisted throws you for a loop there, Cameron.
No, I just thought a better name would be like a Jaehaerys or like an Aemon, like named after his mentor in the Night's Watch or something, like inadvertently being named after him. Mm-hmm. I thought that would have been better than like just duplicating the name. Yeah. It's a whole thing that they tried to like bring in a subplot from the books that doesn't work for Jon's character. It's one of the reasons why the last season has a hard time with Jon's character.
Sure.
I digress. But yeah, no, number 1, I knew number 1's going to be it because also, like, and this is also a massive shout out, like any show Black Twitter adopts is going to be skyrocketed up because one, shout out to the culture over there. They're the best. I am just, as a spectator and a viewer, I am a massive fan of it.
I will say there are definitely a few more Black Twitter led shows on this list.
Absolutely. The culture knows good. Let me think here. So we're talking like Game of Thrones.
So I'll give you a clue that 2 of the shows previously covered make it. 2 other, 2 of the shows
Young
we
Sheldon's got to be up there, right?
Nope.
Nope, not up there. Okay.
No, Young Sheldon and Big Bang Theory not embraced by the actual nerds that are posting shit on Twitter.
That's
stuff.
true.
So, yeah,
and now here's my problem though. I always saw it at the time because it was being promoted heavily on social media.
Sure.
So that's we're going to get the interference of Cameron, who is like the actual interactions and impressions that really matter versus the advertising that I was paying attention to because I was studying it.
Sure.
Let's see. So if we're dismissing that, then I'm going to pull in, if we're talking shows being pulled in from it, then it's going to be, once again, we're getting into this might be more ad than actual impression. America's Got Talent.
No, but there is one America's Got Talent style show on here. Just a different.
Is it The Voice?
The Voice, yep.
There we
Voice
go.
is number 9.
Makes sense.
I'll also give you for Game of Thrones, it was 2.5 million impressions per episode for only 7 episodes.
Yeah.
The Voice here, 44 episodes over the course of 2017, averaging almost 300,000 impressions.
Yep. This is where we're going to get into like the scale is mighty when we're talking about impression wise. So let me see here.
There's going to be, I'll tell you up front, there is one sporting thing on here, but it might not be the sporting thing you think. And then there are
Was there a World Cup in...
2 more reality show things here.
Was there a FIFA World Cup in 2017?
I don't believe so, but no, it's not that.
That would have been raging hard.
I'll say it's actually a sporting thing you mentioned earlier.
The NBA?
Nope.
NBA, not football. What other sporting thing did I mention? I gotta keep better track of the stuff I say. Sometimes I'm just throwing out ideas and I forget about them right after I say them and you say no. So like I just don't catalog it.
This is a sporting thing that really loves touting how much their social interactions get. This is a sporting thing that you enjoy.
Okay. Is it baseball, MLB?
Nope.
Let's see. That I enjoy.
This is maybe don't get thrown by the fact that I'm calling it a sporting thing.
Oh,
maybe it's a cross between sports and, let's say, entertainment.
Is this Overwatch League?
No. Sports entertainment, maybe.
Oh, dude, WWE, let's go!
Yes.
Yeah, wrestling, professional wrestling. So this is WWE, right?
Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw, yeah. Hashtag Raw. The hashtag Raw. Yeah, that hashtag is hot.
Number 8 is Monday Night Raw.
There we go.
332,000 impressions over averaging over 47 episodes.
2017. I'm wondering if is that the year I came back to it. I think 2016. I'm trying to remember when is WrestleMania.
2016, 2017. I think is when. I got back into it around the time of, was it Mania 33 or 34, whichever one that was was supposed to be the Undertaker's retirement Mania that the Hardys showed up on. Basically, I watched.
Yes.
I didn't watch that Mania. I watched the Kind of Funny reaction to that Mania, and then that got me to get back into it. And then
that's right. So I got into it the year before, which was 2016, which was, in my opinion, one of the best matches of all time is Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton, and it's the RKO out of the curb stomp. Yep. Because that's what, for people who don't know, that's what got me back into wrestling. I was like, modern wrestling's cool because something like this happened, and that's something I never dreamed of when I was watching wrestling as a kid. So there's that.
Still got 2 other shows that were in the other list on here.
We're in the other list. So breaking down that other list. America's Got Talent. Is the NFL's on here at all or no?
No. The WWE Raw was the only sporting thing.
Gotcha. Okay. So we're moving into impressions, shows that were on the other list. I'm trying to remember what these shows were on the other list. Let me think.
What's a big one that people tweet about, or maybe tweet along with, or tweet after shows about stuff?
I mean, The Walking Dead, obviously, right? Yeah.
Walking Dead. Yep, that's number 2.
Number 2, that makes
behind
sense.
Game of Thrones.
Yep.
14 episodes, and it's like a third of the impressions of Game of Thrones. 870,000. So that's kind of the like level of magnitude that Game of Thrones had on everything. So yeah, that was number 2. Was The Walking Dead.
And then one more that's over from the other list onto this one.
Yep.
It's not Big Bang Theory. It's not Young Sheldon. It's not NFL. It's not America's Got Talent. It's not. We went through Walking Dead. We went through.
You've remembered most of the things that are on that list.
I know. This is where we're getting into it. It's like the things I didn't catalog.
This is a thing that you've maybe forgotten and didn't catalog.
Oh, NCIS?
No. This is another show that we talked about.
Oh, This Is Us. Duh.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah, no, This Is Us was huge on social media.
Yeah. It was number 4 was This Is Us. So we're looking at a couple more reality things.
I'm just going to start throwing them out. Big Brother?
No.
Survivor?
Think reality dating.
Oh, reality dating? Oh, dude, The Bachelor? Bachelorette?
The Bachelor, yes. This was
Yeah.
season 21 of ABC reality show The Bachelor with Bachelor Nick Viall. Sad little depressing thing I learned doing that little bit of history is on the Wikipedia page, they have like a column of like, was there a proposal? And then they have another column for, are they still together? And like, apart from like the 3 most recent ones that are, you know, presumably still dating, there's only one that is like still together, and they're like married, have a few kids, so you know maybe they're in it for the long haul. But yeah, everything else is like no. And it's like, oh
yeah, no. Fun thing to watch about The Bachelor or Bachelorette is wait for the business thing that the like people actually came on to promote.
Sure.
That's a fun one. I know. I'm trying to remember which one it was, but there was a good one where one of the finalists was like a farmer and she was like a city person, and it was like down to like he didn't want to leave the farm. And I remember that one. I remember that's when I was like, you know what, love is dead.
So other shows still remaining. I know at least a few of these are probably very fueled by Black Twitter, including let's say number 6, which is a VH1 show that I don't think I had ever heard of until looking at this.
Well, it's 2017.
2017.
It's not that Flavor of Love is long off the air by this point. I Love New York's off the air.
This is season 6 of a VH1 reality series. That also, I believe this show is a spinoff, and then I believe it has another spinoff from it.
Not Rock of Love. That's in the past. That's off the air by this point.
Does have love in the title, though. I'll give you that clue. Love. Maybe instead of rock, they check out a different genre of music. Love and
country?
No. Love and again, I said Black Twitter.
Black Twitter.
Leading this one.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, this is
Love and Rap or Love and Hip Hop.
Love and Hip Hop.
There we go.
Do you want to guess the city that this one is in?
Atlanta.
Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Yep.
There we go.
Season 6. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta had 380,000 total average interactions.
Is the other reality one Real Housewives?
No. No Real Housewives on there. I don't think there are any other reality.
We're done with the reality shows. Okay, where are we at with it? I know we went from we started on both ends and made our way to the middle. Where are we at?
So I think we're about halfway. We got Game of Thrones. We got Walking Dead at number 1 and 2. This Is Us number 4. Bachelor and Love and Hip Hop 5 and 6. And Monday Night Raw number 8. So we got a 10, we got a 9, we got a 7, and we got a 3.
Okay.
So starting back at number 10, this is a show I had never heard of, but it's a Starz show. I'll say this is a Black Twitter fueled show, most likely. This was the 4th season of a Starz crime drama created in collaboration with 50 Cent. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson.
Oh man, I don't know the name of this show, but I've seen the TikToks of it.
If you don't know the name of the show, I will
don't
just
know
give
the name.
you
Yeah, give me
Power.
Power. Yep, that's it. It's yes, Power is that show. I've seen the TikToks of like a legal room scene, like a courtroom scene from that show.
There you go.
That's like really solid.
So yeah, number 9 we talked The Voice. Number 8 Monday Night Raw. So number 7 is our next new one. This is a show I will say that like I feel like based on like TikTok and just social stuff, I thought this was a like much newer / currently running show, but it is not. This was the second half of the final season of a freeform drama series.
A freeform drama series?
Yep.
I don't know any freeform shows.
Pretty Little Liars is this one.
Oh, you know, sorry. That used to be ABC Family, then it became Freeform. Okay. Yeah, Pretty Little Liars. Okay, that was still on the air at that point. Okay.
Apparently, yep.
Shout out to.
I thought it was much newer than that. I thought like
Pretty Little
I thought
Liars?
it started after this era. Yeah.
Pretty
that's how out of the zeitgeist I am.
Yeah, no. Pretty Little Liars was an episode that we did.
I'm probably
TV.
thinking of like Little Big Lies or something like that, or like some. I'm thinking of some maybe more recent prestige show or something.
Probably.
Like that,
Yeah, no. Pretty Little Liars. I did an episode of TV Repairman about, and that is a bad show.
Okay. I definitely like as I looked at it, I was like, why do I know the name of this show and not a single person I'm seeing on this cast list? I'm like, all right, it's just not a.
It's straight up no, but I remember Pretty Little Liars trending all the time.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Number 6 was Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta. Number 5 was The Bachelor. Number 4, This Is Us. So number 3 is the last one here.
So this is between
This Is Us and The Walking Dead. This is a Fox show.
Fox.
Seasons 3 and 4 of a Fox music drama series. And I would say this is another Black Twitter.
Empire. There we go.
There we go.
That one we know today because of Jesse Smollett.
Sure. Yep. I definitely like. There was a moment where I was like, I could do the extra little bit of research to figure out like when that happened in conjunction with this to see if like, oh, was this a boost? But then I did have the realization of like, oh no, some of these are just they were really big on Black Twitter. I didn't see the all these trends and stuff like that, but they were big. So
I believe 2017 was when the Jesse Smollett stuff happened.
Okay.
Because it was right after. It was like within a year or two after Trump was elected.
All right. So that's this fun little extra little mini game thing that we did here.
This one this one was a long one.
So maybe I'll throw a time step in here of like we actually get back to talking about the thing of this episode.
The Mickey Mouse.
42 minutes in. Yeah. Anyway, so yes, that was our fun little bit here. Had to flesh out some time because again, this is a 22-minute episode of a thing that we're going to be talking about. I'm not going to have a ton of real thoughts to say on the actual topic.
I would think the most thing we got is like the trivia from the intro.
Yeah. So in the Mickey Mouse timeline of things, again, from this little like usually shorter animated shorts, this episode fell between an episode called Nature's Wonderland, which is described as, while touring the theme park Nature's Wonderland, Mickey and Minnie get lost trying to find the Rainbow Caverns, which leads to an adventure that's not on the map. And then it was followed by The Birthday Song. Minnie composes a special song for Mickey's birthday, but before she can perform it for him, the notes leave the page and she has to round them up. Oh, Disney. So our roll call crew on this... in part, maybe because this has the same kind of vibes as the Treehouse of Horror things of like, oh, they tell a few different stories in this short. There are a total of 4 directors on this, who also I believe are all writers on the thing. So I imagine 1 for each segment and then 1 that was the supervising director. But I don't know the actual breakdown of the segments. But Lonzo Ramirez Ramos, Eddie Trigueros, Dave Wasson, and Paul Rudish. Lonzo Ramirez Ramos previously had also worked on Duck the Halls, a Mickey Mouse Christmas special, 13 episodes of this Mickey Mouse series, and Steven Universe Future, 20 episodes of that one. Eddie Trigueros kind of got his start with a series called My Gym Partner's a Monkey, and did 27 episodes of that as director. Directed 16 episodes of this Mickey Mouse series. And then there's a follow-up to this Mickey Mouse series called The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse that I believe goes from like 2020 to 2023 or something like that. And he did 12 episodes of that one. Dave Wasson directed, got his start with Oh Yeah Cartoons, directing 6 episodes of that, and would go on and direct 20 episodes of Mickey Mouse here. And Paul Rudish as the supervising director Got his start back in stuff like Dexter's Laboratory, which he did 7 episodes of. Directed 63 episodes, or served as the supervising director on 63 episodes of Mickey Mouse, and then another 12 episodes of The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse. The writers, in addition to those 4, we also have Derek Bachman doing the story and written by on this, who worked on stuff like the Star Wars Clone Wars 2D series. He was a writer on that for 27 episodes. He's also the writer of the Little Big Planet games, including Sackboy: A Big Adventure and stuff like that. So he wrote like the game script for those. He wrote 10 episodes of Samurai Jack, 79 episodes of Mickey Mouse, and 25 episodes of The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse. And he also wrote this year's The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, a.k.a. the Looney Tunes movie that didn't get scrapped by Warner Brothers.
Yep.
So, yeah. Going back to the directors who also served as writers here, Alonso Ramirez Ramos also wrote on 18 episodes of Mickey Mouse and 20 episodes of Steven Universe Future. Eddie Trigueros wrote 15 episodes of Mickey Mouse, 13 episodes of The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse, and also wrote on The Day the Earth Blew Up, Looney Tunes movie. Dave Wasson wrote his 6 episodes of Oh Yeah Cartoons, 26 episodes of Mickey Mouse, and he is also the creator and writer for The Cuphead Show, 36 episodes on, I believe, Netflix is where that one went. So shout out to him, getting into the gaming animation stuff. And then Paul Rudish, in addition to his directing work on Dexter's Laboratory, also wrote the Dexter's Laboratory Ego Trip movie, the Powerpuff Girls movie, 9 episodes of Samurai Jack, 2 episodes of Star Wars Clone Wars, 94 episodes of Mickey Mouse, and 25 episodes of The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse. Our cast of characters here, we have Chris Diamantopoulos, and I apologize if I butchered his name there, but he is Mickey in this iteration, as well as the vampire and Morty and Ferdy Fieldmouse, aka Mickey's nephews. He's been the voice of Mickey from 2013 to present in this series, and then the Wonderful World of Disney of Mickey Mouse series, as well as the voice of Mickey on the Disney rides in this kind of art style. His credits going back to 2000, including the first time I probably remember seeing him was in the Three Stooges movie that featured Will Sasso as Curly. He played, was it Moe or Shemp? I don't remember which one of the Stooges he was in that, but he was basically the straight man Stooge. And then you had...
I believe that would be Moe then, if it's the straight man.
Well, I mean, Moe and Shemp are straight man Stooges, just in different eras of the Three Stooges. So I just don't remember which one he was playing. It was probably Moe, because I believe they were really banking on the Larry, Curly, and Moe-ness of it all. Anyway, he also had a memorable run on The Office when he comes in late in this show and is the cameraman that like has a crush on Jan and flirt, or not Jan, freaking Beasley, Pam Beasley, and people hated him for that. He also was in the rerun or the renewed series of Arrested Development stuff, DuckTales, Red Notice, and he plays Donald in Invincible, which I alluded to earlier. He's the voice of Donald on that series. Tony Anselmo, playing Donald Duck here, has been the voice of Donald Duck from 1985 to present. He began his career as an animator at Disney and was trained and mentored by the original Donald voice, Clarence Nash. So he's basically the second person to have like voiced Donald. I think they've got like a couple others that have voiced Donald since, but he's pretty much been the main Donald since, or my entire life, basically, 1985. I think he basically inherited the role when Clarence Nash passed in 1985. And I think the first time he was heard as Donald was like a 1986 thing. But yeah, he's Donald in all your Kingdom Hearts games and all that stuff. So shout out to that. Tress MacNeille here as Daisy Duck has been the voice of Daisy since 1999. She's also notably Dot Warner in the Animaniacs. She's been in 640 episodes of The Simpsons, 144 episodes of Futurama. Bill Farmer is Goofy here, having been the voice of Goofy my sister's entire life since 1987 to present. He also notably voiced Yosemite Sam, Sylvester, and Foghorn Leghorn in Space Jam. And then this one I just get a kick out of because he's the English voice of Makoto Date in the Yakuza and Like a Dragon games, starting, I believe, probably with Yakuza Kiwami when they started doing the English casts. But he's Date in that. Your hard-nosed detective. Russie Taylor voices Minnie Mouse here, as well as the nephews and the witch. She was the voice of Minnie from 1986 until her passing in 2019. She was also in 193 episodes of The Simpsons, including probably most notably like Martin Prince. She was also in the original DuckTales series as the Huey, Dewey, and Louie voices. And just a fun little lovely Disney fact here. She was married to Wayne Allwine, who was a previous voice of Mickey Mouse. So there was a voice of Mickey and a voice of Minnie really fell in love and got married together.
Yep.
And then the only other two voices in here are Paul Rudish as the evil voice and Dave Wasson as the butcher. Both of those are, as you may recall, writers and directors of those episodes, of the episode. So, a little bit of trivia here. This is actually an Emmy Award-winning episode. It won the Emmy for Outstanding Individual Achievement in Animation in 2018. It was a win for Justin Martin as a background designer. And Russie Taylor, the voice of Minnie, was nominated for Outstanding Character Voiceover Performance as well. She did not win, but she was nominated there. This features rare appearances of Morty and Ferdy, Mickey's nephews, who mostly appear in the comic strips from Disney stuff.
Yeah, I had to do a Google search on them. I was like, wait a minute, these kids, they're not his kids. Are these nephews?
No, there's nephews.
Yeah, I had to Google it, though, because I was like, I don't recall the nephews.
Yep. Mickey is wearing his costume from Yodelberg, a 2013 animated short. Mickey begins his story by stepping in front of a curtain and warning his audience of how scary it is, as a reference to the original film version of 1931's Frankenstein, starring Boris Karloff, which began with a similar warning. We've also seen Marge do that in our Treehouse of Terror look-backs and some of those early Simpsons stuff. When Mickey says he doesn't want to toot his own horn, of course, we see a reference to the steamboat out the window. Tooting its horn is, of course, Steamboat Willie.
Yep.
Huey, Dewey, and Louie are wearing their same costumes from the classic 1952 short Trick or Treat, which I don't know if it was the recommended thing for you after this episode finishes, but it was the thing that that Disney Plus was ready to auto play, was that particular short. Goofy is dressed as Super Goof, a superhero alter ego that he uses in the comics. There was a trivia thing that was basically Donald's the only one not in costume, unless his costume is Sailor. But no, he's always in that costume.
Yep.
And then the last little bit of trivia I already mentioned. This episode was released on DVD and a Disney Channel app on September 26th, 2017, in a pre-Disney Plus world, prior to its actual television premiere. So Cam, I've talked plenty. What did you think of this episode here? Especially as the you're not the Disney necessarily, the Disney animated guy kind of thing.
But here's the thing: is I'm a big fan of the old Disney cartoons.
Okay.
And the title card immediately took me back. The title card is just a spectacular throwback to the classic title cards of the era. Immediately drew me in, and then you get an awesome introduction of the kids getting candy, going trick or treating.
Yep, little montage.
One of my favorite things is the touch of showing in their shadows as they walk past a lantern or something or a light. You see their shadows are the actual scary versions of their costumes.
Yep.
Brilliantly done. Incredible Easter eggs throughout that entire introduction to the Fantasia demon in the mountain, to just the smallest things. Just it's all littered throughout it, and it's just this is an absolute love letter to classic Disney.
Yeah, there's a thing I caught at one point in the background that's a bust that's basically a bust from the Haunted Mansion, just a direct nod to that, and I was like, nice.
And then for me, the rest of it is just we're going to tell some classic horror stories. We're going to tell Frankenstein. We're going to tell Dracula, and we're going to tell Hansel and Gretel, basically.
Yeah.
But the last one especially has a fun twist to it. Overall awesome. I loved the one of my favorite things was the switch of smart guy and dumb guy with Goofy and Donald in the Frankenstein one, where it's where Donald is the
Duck Door,
Duck Door, and then we have genius Frank. But then towards the end of that, he starts getting back into Goofy sounding Goofy, and I'm like, this is really smart work.
I mean, that was the weird one for the. I was like, oh, interesting. They're doing like a Frankenstein thing, and this was also like. It's the first one, so I don't know yet that they're going to turn this into like a 3-part kind of Treehouse of Horror-esque thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, they're going to do like they're going to tell the scary story, and it's just going to be a Disney version of Frankenstein's story with these characters. And it's like, no, actually, it's much more a Disney version of Young Frankenstein because they go full musical number with it, and just turn it into a silly little thing. And I was like, okay, sure,
And I just love that the kids are like, that's not scary.
Like this was also one of those things like in the musical number thing, the image of Mickey pulling his head off and like revealing the brain underneath, I'm like, this absolutely traumatized kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that, and just being like, oh, okay, yeah, they're just doing that. Neat. That
was great. Then we get into the Dracula one, which is
well, before we get into the Dracula one, I like that they set up this idea that it's not going to be Mickey telling all these stories, and we go to like Goofy's going to take a shot at it, and he starts telling a scary story. It has like a visual aid of his hand puppet, and then his hand puppet scares the crap out of him, and he can't continue. And then we go into Donald telling a story, which goes just as well as you would think Donald telling a story does. And so eventually we get back to Mickey for the Dracula story. The Dracula one was fun. Like,
love that they do the 3 intros to the 3 classic characters from Dracula.
Yeah.
We get like their weapons of choice: crossbow with the thing, steaks and garlic. Oh, but no, it's going to be these steaks and cooking.
Not that kind of steak. Yeah, exactly.
Cooking utensils. That's fantastic. And then we get bat. He's an expert on bats, but it's a baseball bat, and it's like stellar action, stellar animation. We get like a custom Disney version of like the Prince of Vampires, classic Dracula stuff, and then like the turn at the very end, and the kids are like, "We're not impressed." And then we get the final one, which is just like a really scary story about like Hansel and Gretel and the witch and stuff. And it's just but it's the 5 kids as the center of it, and they're naughty.
Yeah.
And so we get a fun horror trope of the bad people get punished in the end. And that scares the kids because they're terrible little creatures, and this scares them, and they like it does all that. And then we get the fun horror ending of open the door and the bad thing is real in real life, and then that ends it, and it's just stellar throughout the entire thing. I just think this thing's an absolute fantastic piece of animation. I wish they made more of these. Like, this was such a fun thing.
Yeah.
The fact that it won so many awards and everything, and it was popular, I was like, I'm really surprised we didn't just get more of these.
I'm curious because I've seen this art style again on the rides and stuff, and I've seen it, on the Disney Splash pages and stuff because I frequent Disney Plus. I'm sure far more than you do, but like, I'm curious your thoughts just on this art style in general, because every time I look at this, I'm like, wow, it gives me such Ren and Stimpy vibes, and I'm like, that is not a style I ever thought I would see with Disney. In particular, like, one of the things that always stands out for me is like how yellow Goofy's teeth are and how like ugly he kind of is. Mickey is an interesting mix of like, part of his design is very much like throwback to early Mickey stuff, but then there is also kind of this weird modern, like, it's not trying to be clean, and maybe it's like, maybe I'm thinking of it as Ren and Stimpy, but maybe it's more of like they're going with a little bit more SpongeBob flair or something like that. There is like they're not trying to make everything clean and like fairy tale precise or the classic golden era of Disney animation. It is like, they can be a little rougher with this. They can be a little ugly. They can have Mickey pulling his head off, and you see the brains underneath, and you can have these characters not be like the most optimal version of these characters. But yeah, it's been a weird, like, especially contrast that against like the DuckTales reboot, which is still like a modern style, but also feels like a cleaner and like quote unquote prettier version of like these characters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's so there's also this element of like, oh, it's weird going back and seeing like Huey, Dewey, and Louie, hearing their voices from the old DuckTales show, but seeing them in this kind of art style and not in the DuckTales reboot art style. And yeah, the mix and match there too is interesting. But yeah, what did you think about the art style of this?
I loved it. I thought the art show was fantastic. It has, like you mentioned, it's that classic, has a classic sort of feel to it, but at the same time, it's modern animations. And I really do think it's the best of both worlds. I adore the art style. I like that Goofy is ugly. I like that Donald's kind of like shorter, squatter, fatter. And I love that Mickey's like tiny. I like that it really feeds into kind of the classic designs in that aspect of like their ratios. But I also like that, yeah, Goofy is that kind of like old, the rough, like maw of that's like not smoothed out like it is in the like 90s and 2000s animation, but has sort of that rougher feel to it. There is just something very nice about that. It's funny enough. I was substitute teaching today and I saw something very similar with one of the students, like art my student was drawing. And it was there's a simplicity to it, but there's also a depth to it. There is like a beauty in a way that it is not, whether it's like, it's not meant to be quote unquote beautiful, but there's a beauty to the ugliness of something, or it's the roughness of something. You get like there's some sort of texture to these character models that feels like more real, all at the same time being fake and cartoonish. Mm-hmm. And there's something very great about that I think is something I feel like with the smoothness of modern animation that we've kind of forgotten in a way.
I'll also throw out there another example of this art style and the animation style is last year's Disney Illusion Island, the Metroidvania game that basically co-op lets you play as Mickey, Minnie, Donald, or Goofy very much in this art style. One other thing I wanted to shout out. I love the visual gag in the last one. I love Goofy's commentary of like, don't split up. Why do they always do that? Love his little bit there.
Yep.
And I also love just how like angry Mickey is going into this. Again, it speaks to like, not only is like the animation a little rougher and a little quote unquote uglier, it's like, oh, Mickey's going to get a little bit of bite to him and he's going to be a little mean about this. He's going to say, you guys are being little shits. All right, I'm going to turn you into the bad guys of my final story and we'll see how this goes.
Yep. Also shout out to the like Donald and Goofy jumping into his vampire story, his Dracula story.
Yeah, that was I had the idea of like them as kind of the unreliable narrator / playing with the like conventions of like, Goofy being like, I'm Goofington and I've got the stakes and like knives and stakes or whatever it was. But
for me, it was like, I'm Goofington, who is smarter and more dashinger.
Yeah.
There's that, but also like the fact that they're all on one horse.
Yeah, exactly.
One horse. Well, it was separate horses.
No, it was a carriage. No, it was horses.
No. It was a dune buggy.
Oh yeah. The fun little animation jokery there. And then the other big gag I wanted to call out, the like visual gag that we get of everybody screaming kind of at the end of the story, including the focus on one of the kids who we see like from the legs down basically, and we see a stream of water. And it's like, and then we cut up to reveal that it's crying and not peeing their pants.
Yep.
But just a fun like.
Yeah, that last one gets like
they knew what they were doing there.
Yeah, that last story gets dark in a lot of ways, and it's great.
Yeah, the kids being baked into the pies and like having the like the faces of the kids trying to like escape the pies.
Yep, that was freaking me, like not freaking me out, but like I could imagine as a kid getting freaked out by this.
Yeah.
After I finished watching this and I told my parents what we were going to be podcasting about, my mom and they're like, oh, is it like, my nephew was there and they're like, oh, is it like something that Jack would watch? And I was like, I would not let Jack watch this. Especially that last one. That last one would mess him up. He's like 6 or 7. And even then I'd be like, you know what? There's a lot of like playfulness to all this, but that last one especially is like very Treehouse of Horror-ish. Yeah. I would not like let you can't let too young of kids watch this because
they'll have nightmares.
Yeah, they'll have nightmares. The trick of it being like, this is Disney, it won't be that scary, and then be like, it's not scary, but there's like some serious horror vibe to it, and it's for real.
I also love how vindictive Mickey is, where they've made fun of his outfit, and so he puts them all in lederhosen.
Yep.
In the story, makes them pie thieves, and then we get the final reveal, as you said. The door rings, and it's the witch, but it's really Mickey or Minnie and Daisy showing up for the party in the witch costume, and then like the final cheesy gag of like, what kind of pie is it? Oh, pumpkin. And then all the pumpkins scream, all the jack-o'-lanterns scream. And I love that they scream and die, and like their death ghosts turn into the end at the end. It's like, that is a very classic animation kind of like, from the 50s and 60s kind of vibe and trope. So it was definitely a fun little episode. I'm fascinated at the idea that like this was the one like, full length episode kind of thing they do of this, compared to like all the other ones that are basically like a third of the length, and are just a singular story of this, which it is, I think, tough to make. It would be very tough to make a like serialized like 30-minute sitcom kind of thing.
Yeah, I would not want that, but at the same time,
with the Disney, with the Disney kind of cast of characters. So like these like Adult Swim style of like shorter, little less than 10 minutes, you're in and out kind of things, I'm sure works great, and worked great, especially on like a Disney Channel where it's like, okay, this is going to be, we're going to play one of these, we're going to play a little bit of like educational programming, then we're going to play another one or something like that, and boom, there's your half hour.
Yep. Or if it's as simple as like, we had a movie playing before, it ends at like 5:10, we put one of these in, boom, 5:20, 5:25, you're ready to go with your next show.
Yep, indeed. Any final thoughts before we wrap up on this one, Cam?
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, my only final thought is I think I just give this a massive recommendation. It's really perfect for the Halloween spirit, and a great way for us to kind of like be kicking off our run of Halloween themed episodes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I did have one more. I didn't write the full joke, but I did love the Goofy saying like a thing, and then Mickey's like, "All right, we get it," and he's like, "Wait, no, I got 4 more." And then
it's about like
things.
It's because he's too nice, and it's like it's basically the last one is like, and a mama's boy. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, Goofy gets the best banger lines in this one.
Yep.
So shout out to you, Bill Farmer.
Even he gets like the fun help that Goofy's known for is also like garlic filled, and like hurts the vampire. That's his like garlic usage there. It's great.
All right. So grading from A+ to F on our report card. What do you want to give this one, Cam?
I mean, I would give this like a really solid A. I might be going A-, but I think this is just a solid A overall.
Yeah, I think. I'm trying to think. I think it's an interesting vibe where like I didn't know it was going to be the anthology style going into this. So when I was thinking, when I just see the thing and I throw it onto the dock and it's like the scariest story ever, a Mickey Mouse Halloween Spooktacular, I think it's going to be like, they're going to tell a 20-minute, scary story with the Mickey characters. And so it ends up being, I end up being disappointed that like we don't see like a full version of each of these stories. But by the time we get to the witch's story, I think that is like a perfect size of that story, and they do a great job. And it definitely ends on like the right button. Whereas like the first two, I was like, okay, we're doing like classic horror kind of like classic Halloween thing. So like part of me was like, what is the third one going to be? Well, like they're not going to do werewolves because they already did the werewolf gag and the other thing. So we've already done Frankenstein. We've already done. Are we going to just do ghosts? And no, instead we do like witches. And it's like, okay, that works. But it is the much more, I'm telling this scary story to do the reason we tell scary stories and to scare little kids and really get into them and kind of thing. So I think it's probably a B+ for me.
That's fair.
Just because like I would have liked to have seen some of the ideas in here a little bit more fleshed out. And again, like I think maybe especially the Frankenstein thing intrigued me, especially like, oh, they're playing with it and they're doing a black and white kind of vibe to it. And then like Mickey's head gets revealed. I'm like, that's funny. And then it turns into a musical. I'm like, okay, I don't like the music is forgettable, doesn't really do anything for me. And so, yeah, I was like, I was disappointed by that. They turned me around a little bit on the Dracula one. But then, yeah, the real highlight is the final story, I think. So
Yeah.
They won me back over, but yeah, B+ for me. Extra credit, other suggestions. If you do like this, basically it's a whole bunch of things that have Mickey, Donald, and Goofy all together, or maybe focus on some of the other three there, or a trio. Because yeah, like the first one, the Three Caballeros. I'm like, oh, that's certainly one I remember like watching growing up because of living in Arizona and because my dad's favorite character was Donald. So like we watched that all the time. But it's definitely a weird like, oh, that's the thing you're going to immediately sell on this. Okay. There's also Saludos Amigos, the Three Musketeers, which is much more in the like, oh, that's the vein of this. Of
That's
let's
what we
get
thought we were
Mickey, let's
getting
get
into.
Donald, let's give Goofy together. Steamboat Willie, obviously getting its nod. Legend of the Three Caballeros, which I believe is like not behind the scenes, but it's like an homage to the Three Caballeros thing.
Yep.
Fun and Fancy Free, the old classic one that's basically Mickey, Donald, and Goofy doing Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yep.
Trick or Treat, the aforementioned little short of Huey, Dewey, and Louie, I believe encountering a witch. I don't think it's not the same witch as this one, but they are wearing their same costumes as in that. And then, weirdly, they recommend The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse, the 2020 through 2023 series of shorts, but not the Mickey Mouse one that like this spawns from, that ran from 2013 to 2019. So I'm throwing the Mickey Mouse shorts in as like a bonus 9th recommendation. And I would probably put it over like Three Caballeros and Saludos Amigos in terms of like, hey, if you like this, go watch more of this.
Yeah.
It's these other things. So yeah, just weird vibes there. Extracurriculars. Have you been catching up on, or are you caught up on Agatha all along, or is that?
I'm in the middle of catching up on it. So
Okay. Did you catch last week's episode?
no.
Okay.
So there's some stuff that I know has happened, and I've been trying to stay away from it to not get spoiled.
Gotcha. Okay. I did watch last night's episode, so I'm fully caught up, but
Nice.
I will not delve into it and or spoil you or anything like that. So whenever you are able to catch up to it, cool, enjoy.
I'm planning on it this weekend, catching up with a few things.
All right.
So
Well, that is going to do it for this episode of That D Plus Show. Thank you for joining us for 45 minutes of 2017 TV trivia, and then 20 minutes of actually talking about the thing we came here to talk about. You can follow Cameron at Rev Cabot, 2 B's and 2 T's. Anything you want to give a shout out to there, Cam?
yeah, I want to give a massive shout out. We missed an episode because I was ill of That Nerdy Site Show. So we have a jam-packed episode coming up for you this week. So keep an eye out on that.
Indeed. You can follow me at Trevor J. Starkey, and I will shout out next week's episode. We're going to do, as I believe I mentioned last week, we're going to do an episode of Goosebumps. Specifically, we're going to do the Night of the Living, or no, is it the Night of the Living Dummy? Right? Is that it?
Yes.
Now I've mixed up a whole bunch of Goosebumps titles.
Nope,
in my
it is
head.
it is Night of the Living.
Night of the Living Dummy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to do that episode of Goosebumps, which sets up nicely for next year when we want to come back and do this, and we can do Night of the Living Dummy Part 2, which is an episode in there. But this is going to be one of our new we'll revisit this series every year kind of things with the Goosebumps stuff, similar to like we do with the Treehouse of Horror, or we used to do with the Halloween Town stuff till we ran out of Halloween Town. So that'll be our first Goosebumps is going to be Night of the Living Dummy, which I think is like episode 6 of the 10 or 12 episodes that they have in there for you. So if you are interested in joining us, go check that out. I think they're hour-long-esque in terms of like TV time. So I think they're about 45 minutes in that ballpark. So join us for that next week. Night of the Living Dummy, Goosebumps. As a child, we were talking a little bit before we started recording. Like I consumed Goosebumps like a carnivorous beast. when I was growing up, and probably had the first 50, 60, maybe 70. I don't remember how many they ended up doing, but I had a ton of Goosebumps books from the Scholastic book.
The book fairs?
Book fairs and
back
stuff
in the
like
day?
that.
Oh,
back
yeah.
In the day, yep.
Kids don't know what they're missing these days. With
I mean, I think they do. Yeah. I feel like they still have it. It's just in a different form these days.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably not like a, flip open, pamphlet that you take home every couple of months or whatever. Probably all digital these days.
Probably.
Or you buy the audiobooks. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, we'll be back with Goosebumps next week. And then after that, I don't know, we got to figure out what our third week is going to be. And then we'll close out the month with Treehouse of Horror episodes. What is that going to be? 10, 11, and 12. Because that's where we are in terms of our annual trilogy of Treehouse of Horror episodes. So stay tuned for all of that. You can follow all of us over at That Nerdy Site or go to thatnerdysite.com for all the latest from us. Once again, if you like what you heard, please remember to like, rate, review, subscribe, share the podcast with your friends, all that fun stuff. Thank you for joining us. As always, stay nerdy, be good to each other, and class dismissed.